the hijacked plane. We have CNN has been told that an American Airlines flight out of Boston, a 767, was hijacked, and that was about 18 minutes after the first. Then as rescue crews began converging, as people desperately tried to get out of those buildings, some 50,000 people work in the Trade Center towers here in Manhattan. As they were trying to get out, the South Tower collapsed. It collapsed in an enormous plume of smoke and spark. And what we can't tell you is if there was a second explosion or if this collapse was simply a structural collapse caused by the plane that hit it perhaps a half hour before. And then just a few minutes after that, it wasn't very long, as you will see, it happened again. The second tower came tumbling down, and you can see that it almost looks like one of those planned implosions. But of course, there was nothing planned, and it was not an implosion, as you see.
That was the first tower collapse that we just saw.
Here's the second one.
This is the collapse of the second tower.
And so now, as we stand here, both towers, the tops of both towers are gone. Behind somewhere, that plume of smoke that continues to rise over the Trade Center. What is left of those buildings, we cannot tell you. We cannot tell you. In Logan Airport, where at least two, perhaps three of the planes involved began their day, officials now are meeting with reporters, and we can pick that up live.
That we've had various reports on to call these following numbers. American Airlines, 800-245-0999. Secondly, family members can call a Massport number, 617-568-3100. We've also urging people not to come to the airport at this point in time. We've increased the shuttle buses from the terminals to the MBTA Blue Line stop, and the MBTA has increased the frequency of subway transportation. We are in close communication with the FAA, the FBI, State Police, Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And that's all I have right now.
So you've got to tell us.
What flights do you have reports on?
The flights, I cannot confirm or deny any flight numbers because I have not received official notification on any flight numbers.
Up to weekend.
I'll call in. It'll be everybody who's got a flight.
Yeah, I do believe several of the media outlets are broadcasting several flight numbers. I believe they'll broadcast flight number 11, American Airlines. I don't know at this point in time.
Was it Madison hijacked?
I cannot confirm that.
And the airport accounted for all outbound flights.
That's outside of the scope of the airport's responsibility. We're leaving that to the FAA to conduct that activity.
Joe, what is the code? Joe, what is the code Fort Knox? We report the employees Fort Knox for time that the plane went into the.
That I don't know what that means. Doesn't mean have any connotation here at Logan Airport.
What about planes that are flying in here? Are they being rerouted somewhere else?
Aircraft were flying into Logan Airport. We did take some arrivals, but now since the airport is shut down, these flights will be diverted to Canada.
They're not taking flights either, would you?
Are you screening passengers?
Remove them from another area, yes. They're being directed to seek either public transportation or their own transportation out of the airport. Leaving the airport? No.
How long do you anticipate the airport to be closed?
It's indefinite this time. We'll be meeting with the FAA. We'll be conducting analysis of our intelligence that we have. We'll make a determination later on this afternoon. Pardon me? I can just tell you briefly, we have shut down security checkpoints. We've moved everyone away from the boarding gate areas. We've increased police presence dramatically. We've requested additional state police be sent to the airport. And we've shut down some construction activities around the airport.
Is this the highest level of security ever, Joe?
Is another flight involved?
I can't confirm or deny that right now.
Is there anything unusual about the boarding procedure of this flight?
I don't have any reports that would say the same.
Are you investigating breaches of security? How are you getting to the bottom of this hijacking?
I can tell you we have an ongoing investigation right now. Just an initial investigation being conducted with Massport, Massachusetts State Police, and the FBI.
What do you know about United Airlines Flight 175, which is unaccounted for right now? Not long.
I don't have any, can't confirm or anything or deny anything on that.
Did you got a number?
No, they have not.
Joe, did Flight 11 leave on time? Were there any delays? And was there any conversation between the pilot and the tower that seemed unusual?
Flight number 11 left at 7:59. I believe it was on time. And everything went as scheduled when it left Logan Airport.
How many people were on board?
I don't have a passenger count right now.
Are you aware of any communications from the pilot?
No, I'm not.
What is flight path in LA normally is taken it south, towards New York, south.
I can't answer that. I don't have any information on that flight path.
When did the radar, when did the tower hear that there was something wrong?
Again, I don't have that specific information.
Where was the plane before it was?
I don't know.
You know what time this United flight left?
I have no information on the United flight right now.
How unusual would it be for New York heading to?
Again, I'm not familiar with the particular flight path they may have filed.
Was it a non-stop flight to Los Angeles?
I believe it was.
At what time were the flights stopped? What time?
What time was the airport shut down?
I believe we shut the airport down to arriving flights somewhere around 9:15, and departing flights shortly after that.
What happened to the flights that were in the air? Where were
They were diverted to other airports.
How long was the airport? How long?
Again, we're going to assess all the measures that we've taken. We want to, obviously, the safety and security of anyone who works here at the airport, any of our passengers, is a top priority.
Do you have a lot of baggage?
That's Joe Lawless, part of the security effort at Boston's Logan Airport. A number of the planes that have been involved in this extraordinarily horrendous event today began their day in Boston. Boston Airport, like airports now across the entire country, is closed. Every airport in the country closed. International flights, as you heard Mr. Lawless say, being sent to Canada as they approach the United States. These are scenes. This is tape from the ground, and obviously this is unedited tape, so kind of bear with us. It's a little raw at this point, but this was on the ground at around the Trade Center here in New York as the events began unfolding. As you can see there, you can see the huge hole in the building of the Trade Center, both buildings standing at the time. You can see that where the plane, it almost looks like it came through the entire building.
And Aaron, we should remember what Leslie Clark told Judy Woodruff a couple of minutes ago about how much U.S. authorities have been worried about such an attack, how hard they've worked to try to fight it, how something may have gone wrong. And I believe we have on the phone right now someone who both in fact and fiction has dealt with justice, and that's author Tom Clancy.
Mr. Clancy, this is, I guess, a terrible case of life imitating art.
I suppose you could say that. It's a noteworthy incident. I mean, it's not the sort of thing it's the sort of thing that's best left in a novel rather than in real life. Unfortunately, one of the problems of being an author is keeping up with reality.
But Mr. Clancy, you also are very well plugged into this world. From your own knowledge, how concerned have the authorities been that something of this scale could possibly hit on American soil?
It's Jeff Greenfield, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, Jeff, you've been here to the house. I mean, I had a conversation some years ago with an Air Force general about a possibility rather like this. And I ended up putting in one of my books where you go where a bad guy takes an aircraft into the Capitol building during a joint session of Congress. kind of seemed rather humorous. You know, I said, surely you've thought about things like this. And he said, well, to the best of my knowledge, nobody in my office has looked at this, but I promise you Monday morning they will be. Presumably they've been